Testing 1, 2, 3. I think we're online here. Trying to see who the viewers are. All right, now where are my users? I'm live. Well, I think I've got everybody on. This is present to everyone. You are screen sharing. Present to everyone. All right, good. Guys, I don't know if you're there or not. I still sometimes have this new system is still confusing as heck to me. And I cannot figure out who's on and who isn't. Chat. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to present this as if you were here, and I'm pretty sure that we're all on and working. But I don't see who's here. That's I'm supposed to be able to see you guys. Oh, the heck with it. I'll just do this and hopefully hopefully you're watching. Well, my name is Casey Truby, and what we're going to talk about today is on our Buy, Fix, and Sell is fundraising. And we're doing a fundraiser right now. We're raising, we started out with the idea of raising 500,000. We've actually raised the number to 2.2 million. Over the next 24 months. And the reason for that is that AutoKip turned out to be a much bigger business than we thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be a small little company for helping accountants with their phones. But recently we've built links to go right into accounting software. So it's going to actually become a system for a business person to actually enter their bookkeeping transactions with their mobile phone without knowing anything about accounting. All they got to do is talk the transaction. I just received $82 from Bob Johnson on the Smith billing job, and it's going to know exactly what to do based on that. So with that information in mind, we knew that we could make it into a bigger company. And so what I'm going to do is show you today the one-page executive summary and how we came up with that and how you can do this yourself if you're going to need funds to build a business. If you're going to need funds to buy a company or start a company, this is what the first page of the 30-page business plan looks like. And the first thing you do is, and all this has to be on one page, which was very hard for me to get it down to 400 words. But you always start out with a sector. Because people like investing in biotech or they like investing in construction companies. So they want to see the sector right at the beginning so they know if they even have any interest in reading the rest of this plan. And so you have to follow the format that investors ask for. And as a matter of fact, there are a lot of investors looking for particular opportunities. If you're good at this, putting up the sector information, then you've got a better chance of finding the person that's actually looking for you. In this case, I wrote down the sector. AutoKip allows anyone to contemporaneously record and post to software their deductions, documents, business expense, and do it in under 10 seconds. Now, I'm not going to read this line for line, but what we're doing is we're telling the person that we're a expense and mileage recording system over the phone, and our really big highlight points under 10 seconds. We don't use OCR. There's no typing. And then in our sector, we want to talk about the niche. Is anyone in the sector now? Yeah, there are 35 players and they've already got success. There's 10 million downloads and we're coming in as second to market. And that's an old business school term, second to market. So you let everybody else go out there and get bloody, figure out what works or doesn't work, and then you just create something a few shades better. and you can come in and sweep the industry. And that's what we're hoping to do with AutoKept. But the whole purpose of this one-page summary is to give you an idea that you can use this with anybody, and that with any business opportunity. So that's what we're really trying to do here, is give you an idea of how to do these executive summaries. And then the next thing on the executive summaries, you talk about the problem you're going to solve. So first the sector, the second the problem. And in this case, every one of us has been told by our accountant or bookkeeper to do a better job at tracking mileage, because, that's where the IRS goes right out of the gate the first time, every time, is they go to check your mileage reports. The next thing they always check is your documentation of your meals and entertainment, because they know they can always nail you for $5,000 or $10,000, and then they get the penalties and interest on top of that. And they know they can nail you on that one because nobody does a good job at it. So that was the problem that we're solving. How do we do a good job without all that cumbersome problem of typing and remembering the receipts, etc.? The third thing you put on your executive summary is something unique about yourself, the magic. And these can change up, these orders or what you're going to include, but this is pretty much the general format. Why is this so much better? In our case, we said our magic is voice recognition mapped against artificial intelligence. It understands what's going on without you having to know anything about accounting. And then a unique distribution. Now, this isn't usually mentioned in a one-page executive summary. Your distribution, you will mention your sales program, but usually not distribution. But this is AutoKept is so unique in this factor that I wanted to talk about distribution with these people, because AutoKept's private labeled and nobody else does that in the phone app business. It's a dynamic customization. So if an accountant or a public speaker or insurance agent gives this app away, every time one of their clients use the app, the top 1/3 of the screen is dedicated toward that particular sponsor. And that makes us a marketing plan, not an accounting software. And that makes it easier to get out the door. So what we're doing is we're going to, let's say, an accounting firm, and they've got 100 clients. Now, for me to go out and get this app on the phone of 100 clients could easily cost me $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 in advertising to get it on 100 phones. But if I go out and private label it and give it to the accountant and say, give it to your clients, I'm going to get those 100 phones instantly because the accountant wants his name on all those telephones. So this distribution angle is really unique. As a matter of fact, we're hoping that's one of the things we can patent in this phone app, and it's in our pending status right now. But this way, people are paying us to put their name on someone else's phone where it's going to be seen 2 or 3 minutes a day. And right now, that's how long people have an expense tracking app open, 2 to 3 minutes a day, which quite frankly is a long time. So during that 2 or 3 minutes, they're looking at the sponsor's name, and nobody's ever done that. So that's why I wanted to put it on the one-page summary. This one-page summary is what we would post on. There are several sites where you can post funding requests, and there are when we go out to speak to groups of people, they want to see this one page. If they're not interested at the end of one page, it doesn't matter what you write in the next 27 pages. The next thing about our unique marketing is that it's viral, that the app can be shared. So I've really dedicated 2 paragraphs to I started with the unique superior technology, but it really amounted to, listen, this thing's so darn unique. I can't just tell you about tech. I've got to tell you about distribution, and I have to tell you about the viral end of this in this one page. And that's why I included these paragraphs. But boy, oh boy, you have so little space to write. I hate duplicating information, but you can see that down here on market size, I've duplicated again. There's 65 million potential users, and I put that up here in the top paragraph as well. I really didn't want to do that, but I was kind of forced to make so the thing made sense. So the next thing you talk about is market size. Who's the number of customers? Can you identify them? People say everyone's my customer. That guy's never going to get off the ground. But if you say the better and more targeted you can make your customer, potential customer list, the easier it is to raise money. And that's just something that you should always keep in mind whenever you're asking anyone for money. We're in a very unique time. There seems to be an incredible amount of cash backing up in the planet. People are afraid to go into the stock market. Of course, putting money into real estate is iffy at best. And no one wants to put money in the bank because we're getting a 0.5% to 1% interest on our money. So they're looking for places to put the cash, and people that are successful are becoming more and more successful by the hour. So they're backing up with money and they're looking for places. So if you need to raise dough, now is the right time to do it. Now, the next section, so I talk about market size in this one page, and then I talk about the business to date. And the reason you want to do that is because it's much easier to raise money if there's already a business there. That's one of the reasons we like buying existing companies, because there's cash flow. And so people see, well, if you just go in and do this, this, and this, then the business is going to grow. But if you're starting from zero, you're going to have a harder time getting dough. And so we learned this last October. We're talking about 13 months ago, when Travis and I went out and did some pitches around the country on the startup idea for AutoKept, and we got thrown out of every one of them within 10 minutes. And they said, you have no product, you have no customers, all you have is an idea, and you want us to give you money? Get out and stay out. So I guess we did get 2 orders, but the business raising money didn't work as well as we thought. So we went back to the drawing board and looked at our assets and what could I pull together. And so I self-funded the company to get it started. Most people can't do that. They don't have $250,000 laying around they can dump into technology. So you won't be able to write this business to date if you aren't buying an existing business or if you haven't already proven the market. But you don't have to prove the market very big. Now, that's something interesting. There's something called a MVP, which is minimal viable product. Can we just create a very simple version, get 100, get 500, get 1,000 customers on this very simple version, or this very simple product we want to sell at the local retail outlet? And can we get some traction to show some revenue? And once you've done that, then raising money becomes much, much easier to do. So you talk about the business to date, and you'll notice in this paragraph, there's something called MRR. Now, this is a new term to me, but MRR is monthly reoccurring revenue. Sometimes the people looking at your financials will want to see you do ARR for annual revenue. But this is in the businesses of the future, things are sold on subscription whenever possible. And we've actually seen this in automobiles for years. They've been leasing cars to us for years with the idea that at the end of your 36 months, you're going to bring the car back and lease another one. And so there will be a time in the future when we're all just renting cars, and then we just turn them in every 3 years and get a new one. And we never even consider cars something that we would want to own. That's going to be hard for me. I collect cars, so that's going to be hard for me to ever grasp. I buy one, I want to keep it. Baby, I'm going to have that sucker until the wheels fall off. But this is a new term that we should understand and know about, reoccurring revenue. And there are this is a real movement in business. And here's the interesting thing. It makes the business much more valuable. When I get to the bottom of this page, I'm going to tell you what we think AutoKept's going to value out at. Then we talk about funding. How much do you need, and et cetera. In this paragraph, so in this paragraph, we talk about money we've already put in. It says here 200,000, but I've actually put in 250 now. And that where we're looking next. So what I'm putting in here is that we need 100,000 right now. We think we're going to raise that from a couple of our old customers, friends and family is what I called it. But in the first quarter of 2016, I've actually got to raise 750. And then that'll bring our MRR up to 200,000 a month by the end of 2016. Now, if I've hit that, that's called a milestone. And then I'll go back to those same investors and say, okay, now give me the other 1.5 million that I'm going to need for the next 3 years, 17, 18, and 19, to bring the company up to 3,300,000 MRR a month. So this is the same format you would use no matter what the business, whether you're buying a broken down business you want to fix, or if you're doing a new business. And I'm going to go back to this thing of business to date, doing a brand new business idea. It's difficult to raise money, and you'll end up giving away way too much of your company. My anticipation is that we're only going to have to give up about 20% of AutoKept, the stock in AutoKept, for that $2.2 million that we're looking to raise. Then the last two things you put on this is your advisors. In today's market, when you're raising money, they want to know it's somebody besides you. And there's board of directors comes with liability and other expenses, but a board of advisors are people that you can just talk to. This is something that started trending in the 1990s, in the early 1990s. But today it's demanded, and many opportunities are determined by the quality of the people that you're working with. And advisors usually want paid. I will tell you what we're offering our advisors is $1,000 a quarter plus expenses, and the entire advisor group will be able to split 4% of the shares of the company. So if we go to 8 advisors, the people are not going to get as many shares as if we have 4 advisors that are listed here now, but we are bringing in more people. We actually think we need about 8 advisors total in the company, but they're doing it because it's fun, because it's interesting, because they'll build relationships themselves, because they've already made their money. They're trying to pass on their knowledge to somebody else that can make money. And but this is something that's very critical in today's fundraising. Who do you know? Then, of course, you want to talk about your founders. And in this case, it's Lynn and I and Travis. We've now been working together for 2 years, Travis and I. So this is the group. This is who's really going to be the do-it-all, go-to-it kind of guy. And then the last thing they're going to want to see is challenges. And you have to be very frank about what's going to work and what you're going to have problems with. In funding for us, our big questions are going to be our challenges. How am I going to find 5,000 accounting firms and public speakers and insurance agents, other business-to-business vendors that want to put their name on 100 or 200 or 500 phones? That's, and actually I can write it down as a big challenge, but we've signed up 4 sponsors today so far, and it's noon in California. So or it's noon in Arizona. So this is actually going very quick. We're doing very well finding people that love this idea. And I mean, it's a no-brainer. For $97, you can have your name on 100, 500, 5,000 phones out there with a link back to you or a phone call back to you. Where else could you ever make that kind of an impact for $97? So it's pretty cheap. But we have other problems. One of those problems is the customer support. The reason that is such a nightmare for us is because every time Apple or Android makes a change, the phones stop working. And they never stop changing things. There's always some upgrade or some new version or some anomaly in the software. So it's a constant job. And the other problem we have, and so you just have to tell people about this, is once we get somebody to download AutoKept, how do we get them to use it 5 times in the first 72 hours? Because if they don't use it 5 times in the first 3 days, then they'll never use it. And we won't have an opportunity to get them up to 30 uses a month where it triggers the $10 a month billing through the phone for the service. It'll just be a lost opportunity. So what we're doing there is we've actually developed a marketing plan. So when somebody downloads the app, they get 3 little video clips in the first couple of hours on how to use it at the parking meter, at lunch, when they buy something from Amazon. So hopefully we can get those first 5 transactions. If we do that, then we're going to be, our chances are 10 times better that they'll actually become a paying customer. And of course, we have to build a sales team. I'm the only salesman right now. I'm going to need probably 6 professional salespeople and 4 interns. And that's a real big job to just build a sales team from scratch of people you can depend on. So those are my challenges, but that's all you get, that little bit of space. Now, the one thing you'll notice on this, I never talk about what the value of the investment will be. And the reason why is that you can never actually make predictions when you're sending this out. Now, I'm going to tell you what we think it's going to be right now because it's actually pretty amazing. The research we've done shows that financial related apps with 5 million or more in annual revenue, which will happen to us in 2017, will cross the $5 million of ARR, repetitive revenue annually. And if they're growing at 50% a year and they're doing over 5 million in sales, the valuation is 6 times 8 of gross billing. Now get that, that's not net billing. You know, a $5 million company, like we're used to buying it, if it's a good $5 million business, you'll pay 4 times net. In this case, it's 6 to 8 times gross. I mean, the valuations are just crazy here. So in 20, well, I'll go down and show you because I've got it right here. This wasn't part of what I was planning on, but it's so damned interesting. I promise I'm going to get to it any second. Oh, there we go. Okay. So these are the financial projections, and of course, you know how much that's worth. God knows if it's ever going to happen, but it shows here that in the end of in 2017, we'll actually gross 7,200,000. Now, and there's a damn good chance we're going to do that because that only requires me to have 2,000 accounting firms or public speakers, insurance agents. I sold 4 this morning. So there's a real good chance we're going to have 2,000 by the end of 2017 to hit that 7.2 million. Now, here's what's amazing. Based on what the going valuation rates, the company is worth 6 to 8 times the $7 million in gross. So we could be looking at a $75 million, not 75, but about $65 million valuation in 24 months from now. And if we get out to the end out here, at 2019, the total revenue coming in on this company is going to be at 38 million. Now that's gross revenue at 38 million. And then the company is worth somewhere between 6 and 8 times that. So that could be as much as $300 million. So these guys putting in $2 million right now and owning 20% of the business, and it sells out at 300 million. They're coming out like Red Robin bandits. I didn't know this when we started this. I've been going to conferences and seminars on startups and high tech for the past year, going to all the angel funding, venture capital seminars that go on out here, and listening to other companies, what they're doing. So it's the most exciting time, in my opinion, to be in business. And in history, I mean, this is more exciting than what was going on in 1999 with .coms, and surprisingly, these people aren't going public. What's happening is little companies are starting in unique niches, and then bigger companies like Intuit or H&R Block or Sage are coming along and buying them up. So we're hoping that we're in their path as well. So the whole purpose of today's call was to tell you that to just give you a picture of what you need to do to get funding, And if you would like to look at our entire business plan, send me an email, casey@autokept.com, and I'll be happy to send you the whole thing so you can get a bigger picture of how this might work. But raising money is something that's very important to us if we're going to be buying, fixing, and selling businesses. We got into this startup because it was actually a spinoff of a company I've had, Paperless Overnight. You never know where those next opportunities are. If you understand how to raise money and what people are looking for, it's going to make it a lot easier to grab onto those opportunities when they come along. I appreciate everybody listening this morning. That's our 30 minutes. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email. Let me just bring my email up again, see if I can find a way to do that real quick. Here we go. There it is. Now I'm going to make it big so everybody can see it. Or too big so nobody can figure it out. Okay, perfect. Send me a question, or if you'd like to see the whole plan, I'll be happy to send it out to you. And thank you very much for listening this morning, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.